Am I the a-hole for saying it's not my problem if my ex and her husband can't afford their kids? I, 30 male, was married to Marin, 30 female, and we have a son together who's now 8. When Marin was pregnant, I found out she was cheating on me with James, 33 male. James had a girlfriend who was pregnant at the same time. When my son was born, we needed a DNA test to find out if I was his father or if James was. As Marin's husband, I was the legal father, and that made it easier when the DNA results showed he was actually mine, because she fought to name James as his father. Things were toxic. James was there for everything in the later pregnancy and the birth, and Marin told me nothing. Her parents were the ones who gave me info on when my son was born, so I could file with the courts for a DNA test and custody, and our son's birth was also when our divorce could proceed. James's ex ended up giving him custody of their daughter, so they had her full-time and my son 50% of the time, and a year and a half later they had a daughter together. At this point, they have James' daughter and 4 children together. I won custody of my son 3.5 years ago because in order to force more money out of me, they wouldn't feed him enough and let him wear dirty old clothes. I only paid child support because I earned more than Marin. But we had equal parenting time back then. So now Marin sees our son every other weekend. My son's in therapy to help him with all the mess he's witnessed and been a part of in some way in his young life. Marin was also ordered to pay a small amount of child support, but she only paid a few times. She always uses the excuse that she can't afford it, and that might be true. I never push it because I can take care of my son without her. For the last 2-ish years, Marin has looked to me to buy extra school supplies and share them among the 2 school-age kids, her stepdaughter and first daughter with James. I have always ignored those requests and sent my son with supplies and donated a few to his classes requested. I have never bought a single thing for the other children in my ex's household. 2 weeks ago, my son had a small surgery and Marin showed up. Marin brought up the school supplies issue and asked me to please be decent about this and get some supplies for her girls because they couldn't afford them. She told me they struggle to support the kids they have as it is and their other kids suffer. I tried to move away from her, but she followed me to another table. So I told her I don't care if they can't afford their other kids. I told her that her other children are not my responsibility and she needs to figure something else out. I reminded her that she already denied our kid food to try and get money out of me, and she lost most of her time with him as a result. I told her my priority was my kid, not the kids she keeps having. I told her I would not discuss it with her again, and I haven't, but she has sent many messages through the co-parenting app the courts have ordered us to use, where she calls me an a-hole and not a good dad to our kid. My lawyer knows. He tells me to keep ignoring her. And for those who might wonder, this will not remove her visitation with him. It was difficult enough to get primary custody after her denying our son enough food to try and make me pay more. Unless my son is older and doesn't want to see her, or CPS removes the other kids, nothing will change regarding visitation. Knowing all of this, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. She chose to cheat on you, married and had kids with her affair partner, and still had the audacity to ask you to provide for the kids she has with her affair partner? That's wild. The audacity and entitlement is insane. She should be ashamed of even asking. She has no shame. Neither has he. He thought I was an a-hole for not arguing against her being ordered to pay child support because it wasn't fair. Maybe next time tell her, I'm surprised you can't afford school supplies when you aren't even paying your court-ordered child support. She called you a bad father because you won't buy stuff for children that aren't yours? She is seriously insane. Keep ignoring it, and if you have to, get a restraining order as this is harassment. I don't understand why they won't take away all visitation when she was abusing your child. The system is completely screwed. It's so difficult to remove full custody from a parent. So hard. I fought like hell when they weren't feeding my son enough. My ex kidnapped our child. There was physical abuse, refusal to pay support, and so much more. Courts wouldn't allow me full custody. She's heading off to college in a couple weeks, and he hasn't paid a dime or even talked to us in years. My husband would adopt her in a heartbeat. Now that she's 18, we are starting the process for that to happen. I swear the courts are more worried about parents' rights than what's best for the kid. I have a question. How did she think feeding your son less would get her more money from you? I'm not getting that part. Not making a connection. Answering here in case you don't see my original reply, but she thought I would send more money so she could afford to feed him. Because that was how she framed it. She couldn't afford to feed him more. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling off my girlfriend's bratty adult kids when they kept showing up unannounced to use my house for parties? I'm 35. My girlfriend is 44. I have a place on Cape Cod that has a pool. My girlfriend's kids, boy 21 and girl 19, will just bring friends over unannounced. They'll come into the house, go through the fridge, play loud music, and use the pool. Since I work from home for myself, I need a quiet atmosphere because I'm on calls most days. I don't have the relationship or dynamic with them that should make them feel comfortable enough to be doing this. I've met both of them maybe half a dozen times over the course of 18 months. I admittedly haven't gone out of my way to be buddy-buddy with them, since I don't have much use for young people. This is why I date people older than me who are empty nesters. Last weekend, I just snapped when both brought friends over for a big blowout, and I told them they can't keep coming over. They gave me some resistance, and then I just cursed them out and told them I never wanted to see them anywhere near me again. For the record, I am very low-key. To get me angry takes a lot. I've never been in a fight or dispute in my life, and have no interest in getting into one. I just feel like I had been brought to a boiling point and had to let it out. It ticks me off when people have no regard for how they're affecting other people. They are just so oblivious, not aware or not caring what I think, what the neighbors think, etc. They can't be that dumb. I just think they're disrespectful. My girlfriend says I handled the whole situation poorly and that she can't forgive how I treated her kids. I haven't bothered to reach out over the past week. I think I'm done with her. Her kids are brats and have no tact or manners, and I'm just so soured on her in the situation. If her kids were polite, it would be fine, but I hate spoiled, disrespectful brats. Now for the top comments. Did you address this with your girlfriend or set boundaries directly with them before snapping? I barely know them. I don't even feel comfortable showing up to my parents' house, the house I grew up in, unannounced. I always call or shoot over a text, seeing if they are around and if it's okay to come over. These kids barely know me and use my house like it's their own. Why wasn't this shut down the first time it happened? People aren't born entitled, they're raised that way. Never discussed, since that isn't a topic you'd typically address with people you don't know well. Your ex-girlfriend and her entitled kids can take a long walk off a short dock, in my humble opinion. You have my permission to tell her I said so. Thanks. Put up cameras. Change the locks. Get rid of the leeching moochers. Go live and work in peace. Next story. Am I the a-hole? Mother-in-law announced her 10th pregnancy 2 days before my baby shower. Then Rage texted me during the party because I didn't open her grand gift on camera. My husband and I are expecting our first baby this September. We planned a lovely baby shower and live-streamed it for family who couldn't be there, including my mother-in-law, who lives across the country. 2 days before the shower, she drops the bomb. She's pregnant with baby number 10. She's in her mid-40s, had claimed they were done having kids, and had even told us they were excited to just be grandparents. But nope, surprise. And somehow, we were expected to match her excitement while 8.5 months pregnant ourselves. Fast forward to the baby shower. We live-streamed it like we said we would. She joined. I waited for them to log on before opening gifts. And still, she starts rage texting me during my shower. Why? Because I didn't stop everything to personally call each family member, and because I didn't open the car seat and stroller she gifted us, which had already been assembled at home. Apparently, it was meant to be a big moment. She said I wasn't being intentional enough. Honestly, it felt like the gift was more about her than our baby. I wanted to include everyone, but I also wanted to enjoy my day without fielding a tantrum. To top it off, now I get to explain to people that my baby's aunt or uncle is younger than him. So, am I the a-hole for being annoyed about her timing, the drama at my baby shower, and feeling like her gift was a power move? Not the a-hole. She sounds pretty self-centered and exhausting. As for the aunt or uncle thing, that isn't as big a deal as you might worry. My dad's sister is about a year younger than me, and we were for all intents cousins. As adults, we're even in the same friend groups. I have an aunt who is only 3 years older than my brother. It's pretty common in Catholic families. Also common with men who have second marriages. My older sister on my dad's side has a child 1 year younger than me, and 40s is older for a mom-to-be, but not unheard of. She's absolutely being a diva, but your irritation at her reproductive choices is strictly a you problem. We were supposed to match her excitement while 8.5 months pregnant ourselves. This line makes OP kinda sound like a diva. How dare someone else in the family get pregnant? And in her mid-40s? The behavior during the shower sucks, obviously, but this is veering solidly into everyone sucks here. She is full term, and the hormones are wild. I should give a little grace, but also, when would OP have been okay with mother-in-law's news? She's about to give birth in the next 2 weeks. Did she expect mother-in-law to wait until after their baby? Then it would have been irritation at taking attention away again. I mean, 10th child though. Last story. Am I the a-hole for asking my mom why I should go see her stepkids when she ignored me for them so many times while I lived with her? My parents got divorced when I, 19 male, was 4. They split custody of me, and I had a good relationship with both until I was 11. That's when my mom started dating her husband and became one-track minded when his kids were around. They were years younger than me, and he was their sole parent, so mom used that as an excuse. But it was hurtful, and my mom promised she'd do better, but she didn't. There are a few incidents that come to mind where this was super clear. Mom's stepkids wanted new toys, so mom took them shopping and told me to tag along. I asked her while we were on the way if I could drop by a gaming store, and she didn't answer. I asked her again when we got to the mall, and she ignored me again. She didn't talk to me at all while we were at the mall, and when I told her I was going to the gaming store and I'd be back, one of the stepkids started screaming that they wanted me to stay, so mom stopped me from going. When we got back to her house, she told me we went for her stepkids, not for me, and I spoiled it by upsetting them. Another time, we went through a drive-thru and it was busted, so mom left us in the car and went inside for food. She didn't get what I actually asked for and shrugged it off when I told her she got me the wrong order. When I was grumpy about it that night, she told me she didn't have time to go back and the kids needed to get home. And I was making a big deal out of nothing. I told her she went back in because one of her stepkids got the wrong drink, and she told me it was different because he was little. She was supposed to meet me at the climbing gym for us time. She was late, so I called and texted, no answer. I waited for an hour and 40 minutes before I called Dad and asked him to drop me off at Mom's place. She wasn't home, but neither were the kids. 2 hours after I got back, she came home with the kids. She said nothing while the kids were up, so I yelled at her. Then when she got the kids to bed, she yelled at me for yelling at her, and she took away my phone for not being more understanding, for yelling, and for saying F her stepkids. Last one for this post, because I don't want to keep you here all day. But she and her husband took us out for a family day. She spent that whole day doing stuff with her stepkids and shrugged off my hand when I tried to get her to listen to me because I was asking her to do something with me. I walked back to the car when I realized that was going to be the rest of the day. Nobody came to get me, but that night she told me her stepkids got upset because they wanted to do some things with me and I was gone. I told her she ignored me, and she said she had younger kids to pay attention to. I told her all she cared about was them, and she told me I didn't care about them at all. And I asked her why would I. She said I acted like I needed her attention 24/7 when I was plenty old enough to not get jealous. This kind of stuff happened a lot, and like I said, Mom told me she'd fix it. But she never did. I hated her for it and resented her stepkids. And she pretty much helped me decide I would never want to be part of one as an adult. I don't want stepkids or to give my future kids a stepmom if I find myself in that position. She called a few times and asked me to visit her stepkids, but ended the call when I said no. Then she called me again about a week ago and told me her stepkids miss their big brother and asked when I'm visiting. I said never, and she told me I need to because I'm their brother and they love me. I asked her why I should see them when she ignored me for them so many times when I lived there. She said it wasn't their fault, and I told her I didn't give a crap about her stepkids. She called more times and I didn't answer, and she'd text, and I'd ask her the same question every time. She told me I'm not making her want to spend time with me, and I told her she wasn't making me want to spend time with her stepkids. I get my responses might be petty, and it's not the kids' fault, but I don't want a relationship with them. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Tell her, in no uncertain terms, that if her stepkids are sad and miss their big brother, it is the direct result of her utter failure as a mother. Let her know how despicable she is for throwing you away, and that it defines who she is as a person. That's why her precious stepkids will also despise her one day too. I told her, and she just said I'm not supposed to take it out on them, so she doesn't even care about me even when I point out why. She's just shaming me for hurting them. Not the a-hole. Tell her you are just following her example of ignoring a child who is hurting because someone who should love and support them is blowing them off. Your pathetic excuse of a mother can screw herself. She abandoned you. You literally became an afterthought for her. Go no contact. She burned all the bridges. Notice that when she calls, she says that her stepkids are missing their older brother, not because she misses you. Block her and live your life to the fullest. Let her live with the consequences. Millions of hugs and take care. I noticed. Every damn time she reaches out, I notice it's about them and not her. Not that I'd believe her even if she said she missed me. All the more reasons to go no contact. At this point, not even the law can force you to have contact with her, as you are an adult now. She blew all her chances. By the way, how's your dad and extended family reacting to her obvious emotional neglect towards you? I hope that at least your dad is supporting you. My dad supports me. He encouraged me to get therapy over it, and I took him up on it, but stopped twice, and I started again a few months ago. Without him, I'm not sure I would have known to expect better, since she dropped me so fast my head spun.